Is there life after death? Can a factual case be made for life after death? And what does that look like? I'm going to share some thoughts I have, and then I'll have some links below in the description for some supporting evidence. The comment section will be open, and I invite input from anybody and everybody, as long as it's factual and not, this is what I believe, this is what I hope. No, there's got to be some sort of a factual case. So if one of us dies right now, what happens next? Is consciousness a function of our senses feeding into our brain, and so it's brain activity? Or is there something more in the body? A soul, a spirit, a separate thing that is driving consciousness? And if so, does that soul or spirit escape the body? And how does it do that? Is it some sort of a soul or spirit vapor that escapes through our skin, our ears, our nose, our mouth? And here it is, the soul vapor. What is it? What supplies the energy for this soul vapor? And how come to this day no one has ever detected in any way that I'm aware of a soul or a spirit? Well, let's talk first about the near-death experience, the NDE, in which I've studied really all my life. When we die and our brain starts to shut down, it's like the finale of a fireworks display on the 4th of July. I mean, the brain goes haywire. The memory centers of our brain are activated. That's why we have, or some people have in a near-death experience, the feeling that they're seeing their loved ones, their life flashes before their eyes. That's because apparently the memory centers of our brain blow up, and there it is, all these memories just downloading, just all immediately. Light at the end of the tunnel. When our eyes, our retinas start to shut down, they shut down from the outside in. So that explains the light at the end of the tunnel, because our retinas are shutting down, and now we have, instead of this field of vision, we have that, and it looks like a tunnel. So we have this experience, but most of all, what creates the near-death experience? The hallucination of the near-death experience, including the out-of-body experience. The brain's pineal gland releases DMT, dimethyltryptamine, which is by far the strongest hallucinogen on the face of the earth. So there is this feeling, this hallucination, that this warm feeling, the feeling that of peace, the feeling that everything's going to be okay. It's also, DMT is also called the God drug. People, by the way, people who smoke DMT have the identical near-death experience that people have who are actually dying. Out of body, they have the hallucination, the feeling of the presence of some being. If you're religious, if you're a Christian, then you think it's the presence of the Christian God. If you're a Muslim, you think it's the presence of Muhammad. If you're Hindu, you think it's the presence of Hanuman, the monkey god, and so forth. But it's a chemical experience, we know now. Another thing to consider is that when a part of the brain is damaged when we're alive, let's say that controls vision, the vision center of our brain, if that is permanently damaged, we are just permanently blind. That does not come back. That part of our consciousness does not come back. The same applies to the auditory center of our brain. If that's damaged permanently, we are deaf. That part of our consciousness ends when that part of our brain is dead, is permanently damaged. It does not come back. So I submit that if the entire brain is damaged from death, that seems to make an argument, a reasonable argument, that consciousness totally ends right there. That consciousness is brain activity. That it's not a part of consciousness, it is consciousness. So, this is part one. This is going to be a series. I'm going to include a link below to the iconic Death is Not Final debate in 2014, where two doctors debate two doctors, two pro, two against the concept of life after death. Take a look. I invite you to take a look. You decide. You tell me, do you think I've got this right? This is what my research has come up with so far. So, thank you for listening. Please check out the link. Please like and subscribe, of course. And thank you for listening.